Welcome back to Panda Audiobooks. You are listening to Pursuit of the Truth by a Jen, covering chapters 76 through 80. Now deep within the new, high-level territory, Su Ming must immediately adapt to the local power structure. This segment focuses on his initial integration into a major faction organization, forcing him to compete against true elites who possess immense background and power. The need to conceal his Berserker origins while rapidly advancing his strength creates extreme pressure, pushing him toward a critical, defining moment. Prepare for intense competition and high-stakes maneuvering. Chapter 76. Friend, please hold your step. The status of being a prodigy in Windstream Tribe was no longer of any use to Su Ming. He had thought about it carefully before finding courage to look for Wu Sen. Tomorrow morning, I'll go and get enough herbs when everyone from Windstream Tribe is paying all their attention to the second stage of the test. Su Ming thought in his heart and placed all the stone coins into his bosom. He did not think that they were heavy. Although it made the area around his chest bloated, the satisfaction in his heart made him not care about the weight. Once he put away all the stone coins, Su Ming took out the small wooden box and opened it. Once he saw the 7-leaved herb inside, a bright look appeared in his eyes. This thing was as important as the stone coins. He did not expect to obtain this from Wu Senator. This was one of the 2 herbs he had never seen before that he would need if he wanted to create South Asunder. So it's called 7 Hearts. It's a pity he didn't have the other herb, or else I could try making South Asunder. I wonder what the effects of this pill are compared to Mountain Spirit. Su Ming looked at the herb for a few more moments before placing it close to his person. If anyone had looked at his chest then, they would have been able to tell that there were a lot of things hidden away there. However, Su Ming could not do anything else about it. He had too much stuff that he had to take with him. Once he arranged everything, Su Ming sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes. He did not activate his qi to train, but chose instead to recall the method to cast dark blood dust and try to practice the Berserker art. This was the second Berserker art he could train and cast. Compared to Spirit Devourer, this art had more devastating power, but could not be used repeatedly. Time passed by slowly, and no other words were spoken that night. When the first rays of sunlight fell from the sky and morning arrived, the entire Windstream city woke up from its slumber. Noises began to reverberate around the city as it gradually grew in volume. Today was another day of the grand ceremony. It was the second stage of the test. This stage was no longer a test of potential, but a test of power and speed, which was directly related to participants' cultivation. The venue of the test was again, not in Windstream City, but located at the giant field with the 9 eagle statues, which was at the foot of Windstream Mountain. The moment morning was over, the tribe members in Windstream City left one after another towards the field. It was the same for Dark Mountain Tribe. With the head of the guards and Shan Hen guiding them, Bei Ling, Lei Chen, and Wu La walked out of their lodgings. However, the elder did not follow them this time. Even after everyone had left and Su Ming came out of his room, he did not see the elder. He did not know where the elder had went, but once he thought about it, he did not pay too much attention to it. The elder should be with Windstream Tribe's elder at the moment. When he walked out of the lodgings, Su Ming did not change his appearance. He had discovered that the Berserker vessel that the elder had given him could not alter his appearance as completely as he pleased. Right now, it could only maintain Mo Su's appearance and the one he had used when he snatched away the blood of corpses from Wu Sen that night. Even if he could change his appearance into a third different look, there would be something off about it. That was a clear sign of the limit of this item. That was why he chose not to alter his appearance and used his original look to walk around Windstream City. Still, he had prepared himself. He bought a few beast skin shirts to wrap around his body. He also wrapped up his head until his eyes were the only things left visible. His appearance might have seemed odd, but there were quite a few people disguised this way within Windstream City. It was clear that they did not want anyone remembering how they looked like when they were buying things. There were fewer people walking in Windstream City. Most of them had already gone to watch the second stage of the test in the field. Since there were fewer people here, not only were there less people wandering about the streets, even those who went to the stalls were few and far in between. Su Ming's target was clear as he walked through the streets. He might not be completely familiar with Windstream City, but he knew about the few places that were specifically used for trading. There were some houses that specialized in selling herbs. They were the main places Su Ming intended to visit. There was one such shop right before him at the moment. It had no name, and it was not a big stall, but there was a tribe member from Windstream tribe lying on the table yawning. When he saw Su Ming coming in, he cast him a glance and quickly stood up. Without even waiting for the person to speak, Su Ming spoke slowly with a coarse voice. "I want 100 cloud gauze grass." While speaking, he brought out his right hand from his sleeve and placed it lightly on the table. A white stone coin appeared in his hand. The eyes of the person from Windstream tribe immediately brightened. He was used to customers like Su Ming. He knew that these sort of people did not want anyone inquiring about their identity. They did not need anyone introducing them herbs either. Their targets were always very clear. Without a hint of hesitation, the Windstream tribe member immediately nodded his head and went into the house. Before long, he took out a bag made of hides and placed it before Su Ming. Su Ming took it and looked into the bag briefly. It was filled with cloud gauze grass. The number should also be 100. This herb was not so easily sold outside, and it was rare for anyone to possess such a huge amount outside the city, but it was a common herb within the Mudstone city. He took the bag and left the stall. With the same method, Su Ming visited dozens of other shops. He bought a large amount of cloud gauze grass from each shop and also a large number of some other supplementary herbs as well. He also bought some herbs that he did not need as an act of caution. By doing so, even if his actions caught someone's attention, they could not figure out his intentions. Within less than half a day, there were only 1,000-something stone coins left in his possession from the 3,000-something stone coins he had before he started. The speed with which he spent his money made Su Ming's heart clench in pain, but he had no choice. This was the first time he felt that quenching pills was difficult if he did not have enough money to buy the things he needed. I'll have to use this money sparingly. I'm spending my money too quickly. Su Ming's face was bitter. There were bags made of hides of all sizes hanging off his person. He had too much stuff, and it caused him a headache, but he had no choice. I should have enough. I'll put them away in the lodgings first, only then can I come back and continue buying stuff. Su Ming made up his mind and quickly walked back towards Dark Mountain Tribe's lodgings. He only took a few steps before he stopped. His brows crinkled slightly, but quickly relaxed. His expression was blank as he continued walking forward. Before him, there was an old man with a sharp mouth and cheeks of a monkey. He had his head lowered, clearly deep in thought. There was a prideful look on his face as he mumbled under his breath and twitched the fingers on his right hand as if calculating something. Su Ming walked calmly towards him. The moment he brushed shoulders with the old man, Su Ming heard what he was mumbling about. I earned big this time. It's all thanks to Mo Su, or else I'd have definitely lost a lot of money this time. He's a great person indeed. Su Ming's heart did not waver. He continued walking forward once he passed by the old man. However, the old man only took a few steps forward before he suddenly turned around and looked at Su Ming's back. His eyes flashed brightly as he looked at the number of bags hanging off Su Ming's body. Friend, please hold back, the old man immediately spoke. Su Ming frowned. He pretended he did not hear him. Not only did he not stop, he walked faster. Friend, stop. The old man quickly ran after him and blocked Su Ming's way. There was a familiar smile on his face, a smile Su Ming had seen before. A cold flash appeared briefly in Su Ming's eyes. He did not speak, but chose to walk around him. The old man quickly took a few steps back. The smile did not disappear from his face as he quickly spoke. Friend, listen to me. I see that you've bought a lot of stuff. You must have gone to a lot of stalls, but I have with me something good that those stalls don't have. Su Ming ignored him and continued walking forward, but the old man did not mind his attitude. He just followed Su Ming and continued chattering away. Friend, don't be so indifferent. I really have something good with me. Look at this herb. It may seem normal, but you know Mo Su, right? Let me tell you, it's only because Mo Su took this herb of mine that he became so famous during the first stage. While speaking, the old man took out a herb from his bosom and waved it beside Su Ming. Su Ming was getting increasingly annoyed by the old man's constant chattering. The old man seemed to have stuck himself on him and continued following him with an air of one who would continue pestering Su Ming until he relented and bought something. This was something Su Ming had prior experience of. Now that he experienced it again, it gave him a massive headache. You don't believe me? Ha, it's fine if you don't, but let me tell you, I have something else. Look at this herb, it's so colorful and pretty, right? Let me tell you, Yi Wang used this during the final moment of the test. This one too. You've heard of Bai Su, right? This person was previously unknown, but do you know how he placed fourth? I'm telling you, it's because... The old man's bosom seemed to be an endless pit that stored a countless number of herbs. He brought them out one by one as if he was worried Su Ming would not buy them and continued introducing new ones to him. Because he ate that herb of yours, right? Su Ming felt as if his ears were buzzing when he interrupted the old man's words coldly. Chapter 77. The Torn Bag. Ah, friend, you're really smart. You're right. It's precisely because of this herb. Acom, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Bei Qiong. I specialize in selling mysterious and rare herbs in Windstream Tribe. Let me tell you, Yi Wang is a good friend of mine. Chen Chong is a great customer of mine. Wu Sen regularly comes to buy herbs from me, and that Mo Su, I'm not lying to you, I really know Mo Su. The old man quickly took a large number of herbs and waved them before Su Ming's eyes. Yi Wang regularly buys these. Chen Chong regularly needs these. Wu Sen always keeps these in store when he trains. Mo Su already reserved these, I can't sell too much to you. The old man's hands were moving quickly, and he would bring out a large number of herbs every single time. The rapid change could make anyone confused. I'm not interested. If you continue following me, then don't blame me for taking drastic action. A cold glare appeared briefly in Su Ming's eyes as he cast the old man a glance, then he quickly took a few steps further away from him. Friend, you seem familiar. You. I remember now, you're... The old man looked at Su Ming, and when he saw that Su Ming's face was covered by hides, it became clear to him that Su Ming did not want anyone seeing his face. He had met a lot of this kind of people in the past, and he knew just what they were afraid of. That was why an exaggerated look appeared on his face, and he exclaimed, almost as if he was just about to let out a slip of his tongue. Su Ming's footsteps paused for a moment, but he had been very intelligent since he was young, and coupled with the elder's guidance and teachings, it was impossible for him to be fooled by such a cheap trick. He laughed coldly in his heart and continued walking forward without bothering about the old man. There was not a hint of awkwardness on the old man's face when he saw that his ploy did not work. Instead, a fighting spirit was lit in his eyes as if he would not throw away any chance to sell his wares easily. It was especially so when he saw the numerous bags hanging off Su Ming's body and became certain that this person was rich. He would definitely not let him off. He quickly ran a few steps forward and caught up to Su Ming. He changed his words once more and continued bringing out the herbs from his bosom. Su Ming was irritated. He was just about to use his maximum speed and shake off the old man when he saw the old man bringing out another large amount of herbs from his bosom. A thought occurred in his head. Are these herbs really as powerful as you say they are? Su Ming stopped and cast a glance at the old man's chest as he spoke slowly. The moment the old man heard Su Ming's words, he became excited and immediately patted his chest. Nodding his head, he spoke with a serious expression. Friend, don't worry. I am equally honest to children and old people alike, I don't lie. This. Su Ming's face was colored with hesitation. The old man became even more excited and took a few steps forward quickly before he whispered, there are too many people here. It's not easy for us to trade. Let's go over there. It's quieter there, and it's perfect for us to trade my goods. As the old man spoke, he put on a wary face and looked at his surroundings before pointing towards a remote alley situated not far away. Su Ming hesitated for a brief moment before he nodded. The old man quickly took a few steps with Su Ming, reaching the remote alley. There was no one there. He quelled his excitement and whispered, Friend, what do you like? Do you like Yi Wang's, or Chen Chong's, or Bai Su's? But friend, I can't sell too much of Mo Su's herbs to you. I didn't see them clearly just now, so I don't know what is good. If they're as great as you say, then I will consider buying some of all from you, Su Ming said, with hesitation still evident on his face as he cast a glance at the old man. Don't worry. I can let you see them. The old man immediately became even more excited. A smile also appeared on his face, and he quickly took out various types of herbs from his bosom. He brought out 2 to 3 herbs of each type. Just these? That's too little. Su Ming swept his gaze over the herbs and shook his head. That's already a lot. These are all rare herbs, it's impossible that there would be a lot around. The old man was momentarily shocked before he quickly explained. Su Ming did not speak, but instead reached into his bosom with his right hand and took out a small bag. He opened it before the old man and revealed nearly 10 white stone coins inside. The old man stared at the stone coins with brilliant eyes. After a few deep breaths, his face became incredibly grave and he looked around before stepping closer toward Su Ming and whispered, "Friend, since you're so sincere, I'll tell you the truth. I have 100-something of each type of herb in stock. It's not that they're not precious, but I have my own method of obtaining them. Since you really want to buy them, I'll take all of them out for you to see." As the old man spoke, he took out handfuls upon handfuls of herbs and placed them all on the ground. Before long, the ground was filled with more than 1,000 herbs. That's all I have. I've placed all my herbs here. 1,000 stone coins and it's all yours. The old man was very nervous while looking at Su Ming. If these herbs were all placed together, then a very large sack would be needed. It was impossible to place them all within his bosom. Su Ming's heart pounded against his chest. He stared at the old man's chest, and something flashed through his eyes. How did you manage to place all those herbs within your bosom? What's hanging on your chest? The moment the old man heard his words, his face became wary. He quickly took a few steps back and covered his chest, a fearful and shocked expression appearing on his face. Stop pretending. I won't buy these herbs, but if you have a bag that can place all these herbs inside, then I might consider buying one of your bags, Su Ming spoke slowly. I won't sell it, the old man said immediately, letting out a loud harumph after. Su Ming held the bag containing the stone coins and swung it lightly. The sound of stone coins knocking against each other could be heard from within. The sound was very clear and melodious, causing the old man's face to become conflicted. 5,000 stone coins. Give me 5,000 stone coins and I'll sell it to you. While speaking, the old man brought out a small bag the size of a palm from his bosom. The appearance of the thing was very peculiar. There was a round picture drawn on it by some unknown method. It seemed like it was drawn onto it, but if anyone looked closely, they would find that the picture was not drawn, but printed on the bag. It was a pity that there was a torn part on a corner of the cloth bag. This is a treasure. It's rare even within Windstream tribe. You can store a lot of items in here. Without 5,000 stone coins, don't even think about buying it from me, the old man stated while holding tightly onto the cloth bag. There's a ripped part on the bag, Su Ming calmly pointed out. Of course. If it was in perfect shape, forget 5,000 stone coins, even if it was for 10,000 stone coins, I wouldn't sell it, the old man said proudly. 500 stone coins. If you're not selling it, then forget it, Su Ming said after thinking for a moment. What? What did you say? 500 stone coins? Impossible. The old man's expression changed incredibly quickly. His face was now twisted in fury, as if the price given by Su Ming was a form of humiliation to him. You've said that you've been selling herbs in Windstream tribe for many years and have met a lot of prodigies. I don't believe that no one has seen through this as well. If you still have this bag with you, then it's clear that this isn't the only one you have. 500 stone coins, if you're not selling it, forget it, Su Ming told him calmly and turned around to leave. The old man stood there, wavering, and struggled with his thoughts. When he saw that Su Ming was really going to leave and was about to reach the end of the alley, the old man quickly yelled at him. 800 stone coins. Ah, fine. 500 stone coins. 500 stone coins and it's yours. Su Ming stopped and turned his head, gesturing with his right hand. The old man went up to him with extreme reluctance. He handed the bag to Su Ming. Once Su Ming took it, he could immediately feel that the bag was light. In fact, the moment he touched the bag, a picture appeared in his head. It was a space that was about 30 feet in size. However, only half the space could be used. There were crack-like marks on the other half of the space. HMPH. You earned big this time, I'm telling you. You can keep your items here once you pat them on the bag. If you want to take them out, all you need is just to think about it. The old man explained how to use the item, all the while grumbling under his breath. Su Ming was very curious. He took out an herb from one of his numerous bags and tried to place it in the bag using the method the old man just told him. Once he saw that what the old man told him was true, he could not help but smile. It's good, right? I have a lot of good things with me. You got a great deal buying this for only 500 stone coins. Don't go out telling other people about it. Give me the money quickly. The old man looked dispirited as he held out his hand for the money. Half of the space in there is torn. Is it due to the damage on the bag? Su Ming did not hand him the money immediately but asked instead. I don't know about that. I only have this with me, and I've used it for many years. It's always been like this. Hurry up and give me the money. The old man quickly avoided the question. Su Ming looked at the old man with a profound look. He threw the torn bag to the old man and shook his head. What do you mean? You don't want it anymore? The old man was immediately stunned. No matter how amazing it is, it's still a torn bag. It's not worth 500 stone coins. More importantly, I believe that before long, the crack within will slowly spread until I can no longer use it. In fact, there's even a possibility that I won't be able to take out the things from within. What's the use of this to me then? No way. I've been using this for many years. It definitely won't happen, the old man quickly guaranteed. I can't be certain about it. If I buy it, then I'll only give you 200 stone coins. After a few months, if it's truly as you say, then I'll give you the rest of the stone coins, Su Ming said with a casual tone. That won't do. How am I supposed to find you then? The old man quickly shook his head. If you don't want it, then forget it. Su Ming did not show any reluctance and turned around to leave. Ah, fine. I'll sell it to you for 200 stone coins. 3 months later, you have to give me the remainder of the money. There aren't a lot of tribes around the region, and there are only so many people around. If you don't pay up, I'll still be able to find you, the old man said with a pained face as he handed the cloth bag to Su Ming once again. This time, Su Ming no longer pondered around and hesitated. He took out 2 white stone coins and took the cloth bag, completing the trade before he left the remote alley. The old man waited until Su Ming was long gone before the pained look on his face completely disappeared, replaced by a look of satisfaction. He took out another torn cloth bag from his bosom and placed all the herbs on the ground inside it. Then he let out a sigh. That child is bright. He's much harder to fool compared to Yi Wang. Even Yi Wang spent 500 stone coins on this. He's even better, he only spent 200 and bought it. HMPH. Once I sell a few more of these and they're used to it, then I'll start reaping my profits. The old man mumbled under his breath as excitement and anticipation appeared on his face. Chapter 78. Let's walk around in circles. The weather may be clear during winter, but it was still cold. However, to berserkers, this sort of cold was bearable. Besides, winter season was about to be over. Snow was falling from the sky as if winter refused to leave and wanted to remind all the living beings on Earth that it was still around. The snow was not heavy initially, but before long, vast amounts of it fell from the sky. It swept through the land as a strong blast of wind suddenly stirred up in the region. As the wind moaned, the snow danced. It was snowing heavily by noon. It may not have covered everything, but as the wind swept away the snow, it obscured the sky, like a layer of darkness suddenly falling on the land. Su Ming walked through the streets of the mudstone city. Snow was falling on him, his shirt, hair, and some even crept into the beast skins covering his head, falling on the tip of his nose. The snow had come suddenly. Before Su Ming had managed to go back to Dark Mountain Tribe's lodgings, his path was cut off by the heavy snowfall. Su Ming walked briskly in the snow and left behind a trail of footprints, but they were soon covered by falling snowflakes and gone without a trace. This was perhaps the last snowfall this winter. As Su Ming exhaled, his breath turned into white fog. After a while, once he was certain no one was following him, he took a few turns and returned to his lodgings. The wind was stronger, and the snow fell heavier. Standing at the door, Su Ming stomped on the ground with all his might until he shook off all the snow from his person. Only then did he go into the house. It was much warmer inside compared to when he was outside. Su Ming closed the door and took off all the hides wrapped around his entire body. He cast them aside and placed all the hide bags filled with herbs on the ground, then activated his qi and circulated it throughout himself until he got rid of the chill in his body. Once he did so, he sat down cross-legged and brought out the small torn bag, observing it carefully. This bag is very mysterious. It can hold so many things within. But there must be something wrong with it because Bei Qiong sold it to me far too easily. Something flashed through Su Ming's eyes. He had suspected it before, and the more he thought about it, the more he thought that Bei Qiong's actions were off. After a moment of thought, he brought out some herbs that had no use to him and placed them into the bag before attempting to take them out. He found nothing wrong with the process. I still have to be careful. After all, these herbs are all that I have. If I put them all in and something happens, then it'll be terrible. Su Ming scratched his head and decided to just put the thought aside. He would wait a few more days. Once everything calmed down, then he would have the elder look at the bag. Su Ming put the bag away and sat down cross-legged. As he was circulating his qi, he slowly concentrated on learning dark blood dust. He had to hurry up and learn the art so that he could cast it during a real battle. As for his original plan to walk around the Mudstone City again and see whether he had anything else he wanted to buy, it was cancelled due to the huge snowfall outside. The wind and snow were whistling outside. Su Ming sat down quietly in his room. Time passed by slowly. Soon, it was dusk outside. When there was no snow falling, it would usually be rather bright during dusk. Yet today, there was a hint of darkness even though the sun was still out. He could not see clearly into the distance. All he could see was the snow falling from the sky. However, due to it, there was a hint of silver light reflecting off the surface of the newly covered ground in the dim light. The snow was still falling heavily. Before long, Su Ming's ears twitched, and he got up. When he stood up and opened the door to his room, he saw Bei Ling and the others walking back. These people weren't talking among themselves as they did yesterday. It might have been because the snow was falling too heavily. Once Bei Ling cast a glance at Su Ming, he quickly went back into his own room. Wu La looked dull, as if she could not lift her spirits up. She too returned to her own room. Only Lei Chen smiled at Su Ming good-naturedly and approached him. He looked as if he wanted to tell Su Ming what he saw during the day. The head of the guards was frowning, caught up in his thoughts. He would look at the sky occasionally, and there would be a hint of worry on his face. Shan Hen still looked indifferent. He no longer took note of Su Ming and went back into his room. Su Ming, the second stage of the test was seriously very intense today. The test of strength and speed reflects our current level of power. Yi Wang is indeed the strongest among the youths in Windstream. He's just too powerful. He surpassed Chen Chong by way too much, and is placed second. That Bai Su from Black Mountain Tribe will definitely become a great enemy of ours. He was ranked third. He seems to be at the 7th level of the blood solidification realm, and he's really strong. It's a pity Mo Su didn't appear, or else it'd have been even more exciting. I didn't manage to get into the top 50, neither did Wu Lane. Only Bei Ling managed to place 49th. The second stage may have been over quickly, but it was really magnificent. I heard that the third stage will only be held 3 days later. It's a test of real combat. It should be even more exciting. Lei Chen spoke excitedly with Su Ming in his room for a long time. He told him everything that he saw and experienced that day. He wanted to continue speaking, but when he saw that Su Ming's interest was not great, he spoke for a little while longer before leaving while yawning. Lei Chen had also taken part in the test that day and was a little exhausted. When Lei Chen left, Su Ming waited until dusk was over and the snowstorm was also slightly lighter outside before he standing with his heart pounding against his chest. He left his room feeling nervous but expectant. This time, Shan Hen did not appear when Su Ming walked out of Dark Mountain Tribe's lodgings. The sky was dark, but the land was lit with a silver glow. Snow fell from the sky, and it caused Su Ming to experience an indescribable feeling. After a long while of walking in the snowstorm, Su Ming changed his appearance and turned into Mo Su. He approached Dark Dragon Tribe's lodgings and stood there, waiting. Time gradually passed by, and the snowstorm continued. As snow kept falling from the sky, the door to Dark Dragon Tribe opened silently and Bai Ling poked out her beautiful head from within. She wore a white shirt and had multiple furs decorating her neck. She looked incredibly beautiful. She looked around for a moment. When she saw Su Ming, a shy look immediately appeared on her petite face, but there was also happiness that was difficult to conceal. She took a few brisk steps and stood in front of Su Ming. They looked at each other and smiled. "You must have waited for a long time," Bai Ling said softly. "No, I just arrived." Su Ming scratched his head as he looked at Bai Ling standing before him. He had never seen such a beautiful person in his life. As he looked at the sight of the snow causing Bai Ling's cheeks to color a light red and at her twinkling eyes, which held a hint of bashfulness, Su Ming's heart pounded even more quickly. "What are you looking at? You look like an idiot. Didn't you say you wanted to walk in circles?" Bai Ling's face became even redder, but she did not look away from Su Ming's gaze. Instead, she blinked and chuckled softly. "Ah, yes. Ha ha." Su Ming touched his nose. The two of them walked into the distance under the snowstorm amidst Bai Ling's laughter. When they disappeared into the snowstorm, Sai Kong sat in Dark Dragon Tribe's lodgings with a conflicted look. He wanted to go and watch them, but in the end gave up on the idea with a long sigh. The old woman was also inside Dark Dragon Tribe's lodgings. She was sitting inside her room. She knew that Bai Ling had gone out, but she did not stop her. In her mind, if Bai Ling could be together with Mo Su, then it was the best possible outcome. The wind bellowed, and snow danced in the air. In that snowstorm, Su Ming and Bai Ling walked through an alley in the mudstone city. The snow fell around them and gave off an attractive glimmer. It landed on the roofs and the buildings situated on both sides of the alley, causing the place to turn into a world of snow. There were few people who walked during this kind of night. Su Ming was very nervous. The quick-witted intelligence he displayed last time when he spoke to Bai Ling was gone. Only after his hand was taken by Bai Ling, and he felt the sweat and smoothness of her palm, did Su Ming snap back from his stupor and clutched Bai Ling's small hand. Bai Ling lowered her head. She looked incredibly beautiful when her rosy cheeks were illuminated by the snow. "Let's go, take a walk around." Su Ming whispered and lowered himself down. A bashful smile appeared on Bai Ling's face, and she laid on Su Ming's back. The warmth that was emitted from Su Ming's back made her feel happy. Su Ming breathed in the light fragrance coming from behind him and felt the similar warmth coming from Bai Ling's petite body. He took in a deep breath and dashed forward, jumping over the mudstone walls surrounding the city and left them behind himself. Bai Ling's heart raced against her chest. She could also feel Su Ming's heart pounding as he ran. They welcomed the snowstorm falling on the plains outside Windstream Tribe and continued running further away into the quiet and secluded plains. Snow fell on their bodies, but they did not feel cold. Instead, the warmth they felt in their hearts surrounded their bodies. When they were outside the city, Su Ming's appearance reverted to his original look. "Bai Ling, why does it feel like you've grown heavier?" Su Ming's voice contained hints of happiness as he laughed into the snowy night. "Nonsense." Bai Ling was originally immersed in the warmth coming from Su Ming's back, but the moment she heard his words, she immediately glared at him and pinched him. Su Ming winced in pain, but his laughter became even more joyful. He jumped abruptly, causing Bai Ling to yelp in surprise, and continued running forward. His laughter and Bai Ling's rebukes overlapped with each other and created a beautiful noise. Happy moments always went by too quickly. It was already midnight before they even noticed it. Su Ming and Bai Ling walked in the snow, holding hands and whispering to each other like they would never run out of topics to talk to about. The laughter that occasionally rang out between them also showed just how beautiful the moment was for them. Snow continued falling. It landed on their bodies and their heads. If anyone looked at them from a distance, they would think Su Ming and Bai Ling's hair was almost entirely white. They wondered whether they could continue walking like this until their heads turned white, or perhaps they would look back at these days and sigh because they've lost them. Do you still remember the night when we were at Dark Mountain? It was also snowing. I do. I remember your hair was dyed white by snow. You're the same. You turned into an old woman. Say, if we continue walking in the snow like this, will we walk until our heads eventually turn white? Bai Ling whispered, holding Su Ming's hand, and there was a hint of fragility in her voice. Chapter 79. Who is sighing in that promise? Snow continued falling like a beautiful silver curtain draped on the land. It connected the heavens and earth, turning it into a timeless and unforgettable sight. The snow swayed in the air and fell before Su Ming. As wind blew and whistled by, the white coating would be lifted from the ground and dance with the snowflakes falling from the sky. There was some snow that floated before Bai Ling in the wind and passed by both of her bone earrings, falling on her neck, which was covered by her thick shirt, and melting. While listening to Bai Ling's soft muttering by his ear, warmth grew in Su Ming's heart and traveled through his entire body. That warmth then turned into a special feeling. There was a pleasant word to describe it: happiness. It was a beautiful night, with beautiful snow, and there were two people immersed in happiness. Su Ming smiled. It was a faint smile filled with happiness and the innocence of a young boy. He stopped and looked at Bai Ling. At that moment, the girl in the snow looked as if she had turned into a timeless picture, and the image was ingrained deeply in Su Ming's memories. The image of the white snow, her white clothes, the girl who was as beautiful as the snow, and the words she was whispering quietly. Bai Ling was very pretty. Some ice fragments stuck to her trembling eyelashes. Su Ming continued looking at her and felt that everything had disappeared from the world. It was as if the only ones that existed were the two of them. After a long while, when Bai Ling's cheeks slowly turned even redder due to Su Ming's gaze, he raised his right hand and took off the fang necklace hanging on his neck. He took off the biggest fang, which was the size of his little finger, and handed it to Bai Ling. The fang was completely white. It was crescent in shape, and there were two words carved on it. Those words were Su Ming's own name. The fang emanated a fierce presence. The elder gave this fang to me when I took part in my first Berserker's awakening when I was 7. This is something I really like. I'll give it to you. There was a smile on Su Ming's face, but he was feeling nervous. In their tribes, handing over this thing as a gift held a special meaning. Bai Ling pursed her lips. Her face turned even redder, and her heart raced against her chest. The sounds of her heart pounding made everything disappear from her eyes, leaving only Su Ming. After a long while, Bai Ling gently lifted her pale hand and took the fang. The moment she touched it, her fingers shook. She held it lightly in her hand. Su Ming was nervous. When he saw that Bai Ling was only looking at the fang and had no intention to do anything else after a while, he scratched his head, causing some of the snow on his hair to fall. Bai Ling cast a glance at Su Ming. When she saw his silly act, she covered her mouth and smiled. There was a mischievous look in her eyes and an indescribable warmth that could make others melt. That, aren't you forgetting something? The moment Bai Ling laughed at him, Su Ming's face also turned red. What is it? Bai Ling was still smiling. Her smile was really beautiful, and surrounded by the snow in the snowstorm, it created an unforgettable sight. Su Ming's face turned even redder, but very soon, he gritted his teeth and took a deep breath and looked at Bai Ling. He spoke seriously. Bai Ling, I'm your savior. I know that you're my savior, but what does that have to do with me forgetting something? Bai Ling blinked. Of course it does. Ugh. Let's not talk about this. Hey. That bone earring of yours is really beautiful. Let me have a look at one of them. Su Ming looked around and quickly changed the topic. The mirth in Bai Ling's eyes became even stronger, and with it, her slyness grew as well. She lifted her hand and touched the white bone earring on her left ear while looking at Su Ming. My mom left this for me. I won't give it to you. Bai Ling laughed when she saw Su Ming's widened eyes. When he seemed to be about ready to snatch it, she immediately ran backwards. Her laughter traveled into the distance like silver bells. Nonetheless, even if she said that, she still held onto the fang Su Ming gave her in her hand like a piece of treasure. Su Ming glared, vexed, and immediately gave chase. The both of them laughed happily in the snow. Bai Ling did not give Su Ming the bone earring in the end, but Su Ming, ignorant as he may be, still felt something different within the gentleness in her eyes. Tired, Bai Ling sat down in the snow. She looked at the snow falling from the sky and asked lightly, "Su Ming, what will we become in 10 years? Are we still going to be as carefree as we are now?" Su Ming placed both of his hands behind his head and laid down beside Bai Ling. The snow was very soft. He too looked at the snow falling from the sky while listening to Bai Ling's words. "Are you still angry?" Bai Ling turned her head and looked at Su Ming with a smile as her beautiful eyes flashed brilliantly. "Don't be mad." "I'm not mad." Su Ming let out a harumph, but when he saw Bai Ling looking at him, a smile appeared on his face. 10 years later, we'll definitely still be as carefree as we are now. And by that time, my level of cultivation will definitely be very high. There was an expectant look in Su Ming's eyes. "The elder told me yesterday that I'll be staying in Windstream Tribe in the future. I'll receive the same guidance as Yi Wang from Windstream's elder. Perhaps in 10 years' time, I'll be close to Transcendence Realm." Su Ming laughed. As she listened to Su Ming's words, a look of anticipation appeared in Bai Ling's eyes. There was a happy smile on her face, and she continued talking with Su Ming in the snowy night, as if they would never finish talking to each other. Good times were always over too quickly. Although time in reality was passing by slowly, and there was still some time before daylight, all moments had to end eventually. Bai Ling had to return to the lodgings of her tribe. Both of them went back to the outskirts of the Mudstone City. "I'll send you back." Su Ming squatted down and gestured for Bai Ling to get on his back. There was a happy smile on Bai Ling's face. She laid on Su Ming's back once again obediently and felt Su Ming's heartbeat. The constant rhythm of it made her cheeks redden. "It's so stupid," she whispered in a soft voice, lying on Su Ming's back while he ran. Su Ming continued running through the snowstorm with Bai Ling on his back and jumped over a remote section of the wall into the Mudstone City. He also changed his appearance to that of Mo Su's. Su Ming stopped right outside Dark Dragon Tribe's lodgings, and Bai Ling climbed down from his back with a hint of reluctance. She looked at Su Ming, at the boy before her eyes. His face may have turned unfamiliar, but she would never forget his eyes. Su Ming also looked at Bai Ling. They gazed into each other's eyes as they stood on the snowy street. "Come now, don't be angry anymore." Bai Ling raised her hand, and just like the last time they parted, she arranged Su Ming's clothes and patted away some of the snow off his person. There was a gentle smile on her face. "Those bone earrings of yours are really pretty." Su Ming laughed. When she saw Su Ming behaving that way, Bai Ling laughed, too. As she continued laughing, she looked deeply at Su Ming. The bashful look became even more distinct on her delicate face, and she lowered her head gently. "Su Ming, it'll be an important day for me 7 days later. I've always spent that day with my grandma in the past. This year, I want to spend that day with you, all right?" Bai Ling said after gathering all her courage. Her voice was weak, but Su Ming still heard every word she said. Happiness appeared in his eyes, and he gave a huge nod without moving his eyes away from Bai Ling. "That's a promise." Bai Ling smiled shyly, gazing into Su Ming's eyes. "That's a promise. 7 days later, no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, I'll definitely come and find you." Su Ming swore. The snow was still falling from the sky as if it was serving as a witness for the two people standing there. Still, it was unknown whether their promise would turn into a beautiful memory or into a regretful sigh. "I'll definitely wait for you in the tribe that day. I'll give you the bone earring then." Bai Ling whispered, touching the bone earring, and her ears also turned red. "I'll definitely come." Su Ming smiled happily. Incredibly happily. Bai Ling bit her lip. The bashful look was still on her face when she turned around and walked back towards the lodgings of her tribe. When she pushed open the door to the courtyard and walked in, she turned back and looked at Su Ming for a moment before disappearing into her lodgings. Su Ming stood where he was with happiness filling his entire heart. He also grew expectant towards the promise he made with Bai Ling of meeting 7 days later. 7 days. Su Ming smiled with happiness. He turned around and ran into the snowstorm, back towards where his tribe was located. The snowflakes also seemed to know about Su Ming's joy and danced around him. The snow from the ground was also lifted by the wind and seemed to have become a part of the space between the sky and the earth. Su Ming ran quickly. The bliss he felt in his heart had turned into warmth that surrounded his whole body. It made him forget all his troubles and worries. Very soon, he arrived at Dark Mountain Tribe's lodgings. The moment he got back, Su Ming reverted to his original look. He looked at Dark Mountain Tribe's lodgings, located not too far into the distance of the snowy night, and took a deep breath. He walked towards the lodgings cheerfully. It was quiet inside. It may have been night, but due to the snow falling from the sky, the night was glowing with a silvery night, hence it was not completely dark. Within the snowstorm, the door to Dark Mountain Tribe's lodgings was shut tight, as if there was a depressing feeling coming from within. The moment Su Ming got closer, he sensed it. When he opened the door and saw the sight within the courtyard, he trembled. The happiness in his heart immediately disappeared, replaced with a panicked look on his face. The head of the guards, Shan Hen, Bai Ling, Lei Chen, and Wu La were all gathered in the courtyard. They had varying faces of panic that showed how frightened and anxious they were. Before them, the elder was sitting cross-legged with a pale face, panting harshly. Before him was a shocking pool of black blood staining the white snow on the ground. The moment Su Ming pushed open the door, all gazes were trained onto him. Elder! Su Ming's mind went blank. He dashed madly forward until he arrived before the elder. For the first time in his life, he saw weakness on the elder's wizened face. Some of the black blood on the snow even stained the elder's clothes. Su Ming trembled. Chapter 80. I want to go back. You're back. The elder opened his eyes. There was no hint of color on his face, but he still looked at Su Ming with a gentle and loving smile. Elder. What? What happened? Elder, you. There was a roaring in Su Ming's head. When he saw how weakened the elder was, tears fell down his face. He was terrified. He did not know what to do. His mind was in a state of panic, even his voice trembled. Elder. Lei Chen, what happened? Su Ming lifted his head abruptly and looked at Lei Chen. At that moment, he no longer cared about hiding his powers or his identity. There was only scorching anger raging in his heart. He wanted to know who injured the elder. Even if he was powerless to take revenge for him, he had to know. He did not speak loudly, but there was an indescribable might within his voice. The moment he looked at Lei Chen, tears also escaped from Lei Chen's eyes. I don't know either, the elder just came back. All right now, listen to me. The elder took a deep breath and stood up from the ground. His expression was serious as he swept his gaze over everyone gathered in the courtyard. I went to Black Mountain Tribe, the elder said slowly. His tone was low, but each syllable that fell into their ears sounded like thunder roaring. The head of the guard's expression immediately changed. Beside him, a brief flash that was easily missed appeared in Shan Hen's eyes. As for Bai Ling, he took a sharp breath, and Wu La's face immediately turned pale. Su Ming was the same. They knew that the tribe was in danger, and the source of the threat was Black Mountain Tribe. They may not know the whole picture, but the depressing atmosphere within the tribe these past few days had made them see some hints. When you took part in the second stage, I went to Black Mountain Tribe. I wanted to see Black Mountain Tribes by 2's level of cultivation, the elder explained calmly. Everything was in dead silence, and there was only the sound of the elder speaking. It was as if even the sounds of the wind disappeared at that moment. He has indeed transcended. A bitter look appeared on the elder's face. The head of the guards fell silent, and a dark look settled on his face. He hesitated, as if he was thinking about what to say, but then the elder shaking his head. It seemed like the elder knew what the head of the guards was about to say. I had to go. Without knowing his real strength, I didn't want to make all of us leave our homes and become affiliated to Windstream. Who would want to leave their home, the one which they and their ancestors have lived in for hundreds of years? The elder's face was gloomy. Time is limited. I've already recovered. I'll take you all back to the tribe now. Bai Tu may have transcended, but he has not stabilized his power yet. I may be injured, but he can't make a move either. We will migrate. A determined look settled on the elder's face, and his eyes shone with resolution. He swung his right hand, and the snow in the courtyard scattered as if burst apart. As the sound reverberated around them, the white carpet rose up into the air and knocked against the snow falling from the sky, forming a string of echoes. Glittering light appeared in the sky soon after and abruptly gathered together to form a gigantic dark python. The python looked fierce, and the moment it appeared, it descended to Dark Mountain Tribe's lodgings. As it descended, a great pressure immediately pressed on their bodies, causing Lei Chen and Wu La's bodies to shiver slightly. Even Bei Ling looked as if he could not handle the pressure. Bei Ling, Lei Chen, Wu La. The three of you can choose to stay here or to come back with me to the tribe. If you go back, it'll be dangerous. The elder looked at Bei Ling and the other two people. Elder, I'll go. Bei Ling did not hesitate and took a step forward with an unwavering look appearing in his eyes. Elder, I'm not staying here. Lei Chen clenched his fists. A murderous look appeared on his face. He wanted to go back and protect his tribe. Elder, I'm not staying here, either. Wu La gritted her teeth and looked at the elder resolutely. The elder looked at the three of them and nodded his head before swinging his arm. A huge gust of wind suddenly appeared out of nowhere, lifting Bei Ling and the other two onto the dark python. Once they were on the python, the head of the guards and Shan Hen jumped on as well. There was only Su Ming and the elder left in the courtyard. The elder looked at Su Ming. The affection in his eyes was very strong, incredibly strong. Su Ming's heart pounded. He had a feeling that something bad was about to happen. Without waiting for the elder to speak, he immediately said, Elder, I'm going back too. Let's go. The elder closed his eyes and opened them after a while, saying firmly, You can't go back. Su Ming was stunned. His body trembled, and he lifted his head, looking at the elder. It's useless even if you go back. There might be dangers lurking around while we're migrating here. Stay here and wait for us to come back. The moment the elder finished speaking, his body turned into a long arc and flew towards the python, leaving Su Ming alone in the courtyard with his body trembling furiously. Elder! Su Ming lifted his head abruptly. There was great determination on his face, the kind of which he'd never showed before. This was the first time he did not obey the elder's words. I want to go back to the tribe. Elder, I want to go back. Su Ming's voice was hoarse as he screamed as loud as he could towards the elder, who stood on the dark python in the sky. Elder, Bei Ling can go back, Lei Chen can, Wu La can as well. And here am I, also a member of the tribe. I want to go back. I want to protect the tribe. I want to fight for the tribe. Elder! Su Ming's eyes were red. His body was trembling as he roared, his body moving to ready itself for a jump. No! The elder closed his eyes and pushed his right hand downward. A strong pressure bore down on Su Ming's body immediately, causing his body to freeze on the ground at the moment he was about to jump. Wait here. Do not take even half a step out of this place. The elder sat down cross-legged on the dark python. The python lifted its head and roared at the sky before gradually rising into the air. Bei Ling and the others on the python fell silent, looking at Su Ming roaring on the ground with varying complicated looks on their faces. Elder! Su Ming's voice turned hoarse, as if having changed. It echoed through the silent snowing night while tears ran like rivers from his eyes. His body fell with a thud, and he knelt down, kowtowing to the sky. Elder, I want to go back. Please, let me go back. I have to go. I don't want to stay here. I won't stay here. Even if I die, I won't stay here. As Su Ming roared, the blood veins appeared all around his body, though no one could feel it. However, a strong might appeared from his body, spreading outward, fighting against the elder's restraint. Nonetheless, the restraint was too strong. Su Ming could not break through it with his own power. Due to that, fresh blood trickled out of his mouth. Yet he continued struggling, screaming once again. "Elder, even if you won't let me go, even if I die, I will definitely leave this place. That is my tribe. That is the tribe that brought me up. I want to go back. Even if I die, I want to go back. Even if I die, I want to die in the tribe. I was born as a member of Dark Mountain Tribe, and I will die as a member of Dark Mountain Tribe." The head of the guards seemed like he wanted to say something as he stood on the python, but with just one look at the elder, he fell silent. Xianxia, who stood by his side, chose to close his eyes and not look. "Su Ming, you're useless even if you go back. Why are you wasting our time like this? Stop pretending already, you're really..." Bei Ling smiled coldly. There was an indifferent look in his eyes, and he looked at Su Ming on the ground, who was feigning the entire act in his eyes. Yet before he could even finish speaking, he was interrupted by a roar from Su Ming. "Bei Ling, shut up." Su Ming's face was vicious. He no longer cared about anything. This was the first time he had disobeyed the elder, and the first time he had talked back to Bei Ling. After all, Su Ming had always decided to keep his silence no matter what Bei Ling said due to the relationship they had when they were still children. Nevertheless, he had his limits. There were things that he absolutely refused to be subjected to, and Bei Ling had just crossed the line. The moment Su Ming roared, Bei Ling was about to speak, but when he saw the bloodshot eyes on Su Ming's face, his heart trembled, and he swallowed his words. The dark python rose into the air. The elder opened his eyes, and there was sadness within. He looked at Su Ming, refusing to let him go in order to protect him. He did not want Su Ming to get into any harm. After all, the migration this time was definitely dangerous. It contained dangers that perhaps even he could not fend off. "No." The elder looked at the blood trickling down the corner of Su Ming's lips, and his heart clenched in pain. He swung his right hand once again. The snowstorm bellowed and moved towards Su Ming, who was still struggling to break through the pressure, instantly enveloping his entire body and pushing him into the house. Su Ming was swept into the house in an instant. When the door was shut with a bang, the snowstorm spread and surrounded the entire house, turning it into a giant prison. There was also a strange picture drawn with snow on the house's door. That picture was formed in the image of the statue of the god of Berserkers of Dark Mountain Tribe. The moment the seal and the imprisonment was formed, Su Ming's roars were also cut off. The snowstorm continued. The dark python rose into the sky and soon disappeared, dashing towards Dark Mountain Tribe at an incredible speed. "Su Ming, this is the last thing I can do for you. From now on, you have to take good care of yourself." Mo Sang sat cross-legged on the dark python with a dismal face. Yet underneath his gloom, there was a fighting spirit burning within, a fighting spirit that screamed at him to fight till death stopped him. Bye too. As the dark python left, snow continued falling down from the sky and landed on the ground within the mudstone city, the buildings' roofs, and Dark Mountain Tribe's lodgings. It was quiet. There was only the echoes of the wind moaning in the area, as if there was no other sound around. But within Dark Mountain Tribe's lodgings, in the sealed house, there was a roaring voice that could rip through hearts. Yet it could not travel outward. "I want to go. I want to go back to the tribe. I want to protect the tribe members. Elder, even if I die, I want to go back." Inside the room, Su Ming's hair was a mess, his eyes were bloodshot, and he was overcome by complete madness. He used all his strength and speed and rammed into the door. Every single time he did so, the entire structure of the room would shake, but due to the seal, it did not budge even an inch. Chapters 76 through 80 conclude with Su Ming securing a valuable position or resource in the new land, solidifying his foothold among the high-level cultivators. His unique pursuit of the truth is now recognized by entities far greater than any he has previously encountered. Thank you for listening to this intricate segment of Pursuit of the Truth from Panda Audiobooks. How will Su Ming use his new position to further his path of vengeance? Let us know in the comments. Join us next time for the next episode, as the ascent continues. Like, subscribe, and continue the epic saga.